Okay, I think we're live on YouTube. Uh, Let me see. All right. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to week 4 of the Profitable Coaching Business Clinic. I'm Dr. Melissa Tranquil. I'm so excited to be here. It's week 4. Can you believe it? And welcome to the training component of our final week in this coaching business clinic. And today we're going to focus on getting targeted leads from Facebook. We can even put LinkedIn in there, social media, because it's the same process. Now, we would have covered in week 1, we would have covered the mindset. We started off with the mindset. And then week 2, we looked at creating an amazing coaching program and your irresistible offer. And then week 3, you optimized your social media profile for conversion. Now, once you would have engaged in the different assignments, you would have done the different assignments, you would definitely see a shift in your business. The thing is, the problem with many coaches is that often we sign up for so many things, and some of you watch the training, some of you attend live, you're the action takers. Some of you can't attend live because of obligations, but nonetheless, you watch the replay and you take action. Some register for the training and they never watch the video and never take action. And you will continue to get the same results that you are getting in your business. Now, if you want to upscale in your coaching business, you're ready to take it to the next level, I suggest you do the assignments, because I know that these assignments will help to propel you forward in your business. So let's talk about getting targeted leads and inquiries. Now, if you're not getting leads and inquiries in your business right now, you need to be asking yourself, what have I been doing? What have you been doing now? What strategy have you been doing? Have you been using in your business to get clients? What strategy have you been using? Write that down. And I wanted to have a look at the results you've been getting using that strategy. And have you been consistent applying that strategy? Because sometimes you do have the right strategy to get clients, but because of your inconsistency, you cannot see that the strategy is working because you won't get the results. So you have to be consistent in applying that strategy. Have you been consistent? Have you been showing up every day? Or do you do it for 2-3 days on and 2-3 days off? And if that's the case, then of course, you're not going to get the results that you're after. Now, if you're serious about getting clients in your business, I would suggest don't just hop onto the week 4 because this is the area that you're concerned about. Because perhaps you're struggling to get clients because you needed to optimize your social media profile. And that's why that week, that assignment was before this session. Perhaps you're struggling to get clients because you needed to flesh out your coaching program. There were so many things in your coaching program and your offer that you were unsure about, that you've been selling it with a lack of confidence. And this is why this clinic proceeded the way it did, following the process that it did. So the first step, of course, and I'm going to just talk about it today, and then I will do some demonstration. The first step, of course, is to get absolute clarity on who your ideal client is. You cannot go out there on the hustle trying to get ideal client, trying to gain clients, and you don't know who you're serving. So hence it's essential, if you haven't done the work in week 2, you go back and do that now. You create your ideal client profile so that you can have a deep understanding of your ideal client. I won't be going through that now since we've already been through that. And of course, you want to also do your market research so you have a sound understanding of the language that your client uses. How does your client talk about his or her problem? How do they talk about it? How do they express it? What words do they use? What phrases do they use? And you need to get an understanding of the thought processes of your ideal client when they are ready to buy. You know, there's a coach that I follow. I can't remember his name. I think it's Philip Hayes, his name. And he says something I really love. He says, there's a difference between your ideal client and your ideal buyer. Your ideal buyer is the person who is ready to buy from you right now. So when you have a think about who your ideal client is, and you have a think about that client that is in the process of ready to buy now, how are they talking about the problem? What are they looking for? What do they want to see? And you write all that down. And the reason being is that this is going to be very helpful to you as you go into step 2. So step 1 is ensuring that you have a sound understanding of the client that you serve, the language that they use, how they talk about their problems, what are the keywords in your niche when clients talk about their problems, and what is different about that client when they're at the position of buying, when they are ready to buy your solution. What is different about them at that time? Are they more overwhelmed? Do they when they rate the problem, their desire to solve the problem, would they give it a 10? Or would they say maybe an 8? Or would that client who's ready to buy now say 11? What is typical of your client, your ideal client? What is typical about them when they've reached that point that they're ready to buy a solution? And this, of course, will come in very handy as I proceed with the steps. The second step to getting targeted leads and inquiries, of course, once you've gotten that sorted out, you also clearly understand your offer. And that is why week 2, we covered creating your irresistible offer. You're comfortable with your offer. You're comfortable with your pricing. You know what's unique about your solution. You know your unique selling proposition. And all this is clear. Then you're ready to find those aligned groups. So whether you're going into Facebook groups or you're going on a different social media platform like LinkedIn, you want to find those groups that are aligned with your ideal client. So step 2 is to find those aligned groups. So for the next 3 days, what you will do is you add yourself to 5 to 10 groups for the next 3 days. And step 3 now would be to filter those groups. So filtering it means simply this. So this is what I do myself to get my clients. Filtering it means this. You add yourself to the groups. As you get accepted, upon acceptance of your membership in that group, you share your post, your introductory post. So you should have a post in a Google Doc somewhere, a post that you can just simply copy and paste or tweak as necessary and share it in that group. Once that's done, you strolling in the group and looking at the comments, looking at what people are talking about, seeing if you're seeing any of your ideal clients. You also using the keywords, and that's going to get you now to step 4, right? So you're filtering out those groups. You type in those keywords. So let's say if you're a life coach, and a keyword as a life coach might be burnout. You type in burnout to see what people are talking about, how many posts there are, how many comments on those posts there are. So you type in the different keywords to see how many posts there are, how many comments are on these posts. And this is how you go about filtering the group. Also, when you join groups, you're looking to see who's posting and how often they're posting. Because you find I've seen groups where there are about 10,000 people in the group, but it's only the admin posting. No one else posts. Or 1 or 2 other posts, but nobody comments. There's hardly any likes, but there are 10,000 people in the group. So really you want to look for groups that are active, that they have at least 15 to 20 posts a day. People are commenting on those posts. And of course, when you go into the search bar at the top, which I will get to in a moment when we're doing the demonstration, when you go into the search bar at the top and you type in those keywords, you can see those keywords relative to your niche, relative to the pain points of your ideal client. You could see those comments and those posts coming up, and you know, okay, this group is more aligned with me and my ideal client. So you bring that down to about 5 groups. If you want to 10, and then bring it down again to 5, 3 to 5 groups. And then your next step now is that you begin the conversation. Step 5, you begin the conversation. So you need to dedicate some time every day where you go into those groups and you type in the keywords. I'll show, for example, I will share my screen in a moment. It's really slow today, the internet. So let's see, not this one, this is one of my groups. So we go here. So let's just pull up a group as for example purposes. I have a live, my darling. Oh, working from home. So good. So let's pull up, let's say for instance, successful female entrepreneurs. Let's pull up this group. So this is what you do. Step 5. Internet is quite slow today. You go into the search bar and you type in, let's say your keyword is burnout. This is something that your ideal client struggles with, right? You type that in. And then what you do is you filter it. So filtering it means that you're going through looking at the different posts. You're ready to start a conversation. If you don't want to stay in the burnout cycle, ask yourself how you can make it. What do you have? So here's something here's a trick you need to pay attention to. You could pay attention to what people post. So sometimes there may be someone who might post, hey, I've just started my business and I've been working so many hours. I'm just having a hard time. Oh, there it is. There's one. I'm having a hard time dealing with burnout and ways to just stop working all the time. Self-care tips, please. This is a great opportunity. When you click on this post, this is a good opportunity to add value. This is what you need to be doing every day. You're going into those groups and you're adding value. So you add value, you provide some self-care tips, so you share a blog, you share an article, and you begin a conversation. And after, let's say, 2 to 3 times exchanging in the conversation, you carry it over into Messenger. And once you've carried it over into Messenger, and of course, I don't need to tell you how to do this because we all are business people here. You know, when it gets to that point that you're ready to send them an invite, hey, let's have a conversation. So let's say they ask for some self-care tips. You shared an article, you put the link to an article, you also gave some advice. She replied, she said, thank you. Maybe she comes back and she says, hey, I read your article and I really loved your tip about XYZ. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I would love us to chat some more about this. Would you like me to send you a friend request? Yes, sure, you can send me a friend request. You send the friend request, you say hello. One thing that you must not do, and I'll share 2 never do's when you're trying to get targeted leads. Never, ever prospect to your clients from the get-go. I want to ask how many of you watching this training today, when you get those friend requests and the immediate thing you get is a prospect trying to sell you something, how do you feel? I'm sure you just delete it, right? Or you just close it down. And yet still as coaches, many of you are going out there doing the same thing because that's what you see everyone else is doing. How is that working out for you? Have you been getting clients doing that? They send an invite on LinkedIn and in one day you're inundated with people selling to you. That's their first message. They don't know you, you don't know them. Do you buy from them? Have you bought from anyone that way? I'm sure, surely no, most likely no, right? So that doesn't work. This is one thing, if you've been doing this as a coach, you need to stop it now. And you start to build a conversation. Another thing you must never ever do, my 2 never do's in this training, is never be in a hurry to sell. So once you've gotten them from the crowd, you've gotten them from that group space, you've gotten them from off of the LinkedIn platform into that private messaging service that you're using, don't be in a hurry to sell to them. Be genuinely interested in providing value. Be genuinely interested in helping that client. And by so doing, they themselves, 99% of the time, will ask if you could get onto a call. Or when you do suggest if you would like to get onto a call, yes, they will. So this is the next step. The next step is going into those groups, typing in those keywords, right? And filtering the posts that come up. Yes, and I was about to share one of the tricks in this as well is that you can find a post where someone put that they're having a hard time as it relates to your niche, the pain point in your niche, or you can also focus on the comments. So depending on the question, so let's say for instance, like I'm a coach who help coaches to build a profitable coaching business, and someone may ask in a group, there was a group I went to once, and someone asked, how many new coaches are in here? How many new coaches are in here? And people were posting. And because they were new coaches, this was an opportunity for me. I went into that group. I saw that post during the same process, and I was able to send friend requests to all those persons who were new, right? So right away, I increased my list with persons who are new to the coaching industry just from that post. And then from that post, maybe one or two persons might say, hey, I'm new to coaching. It's been 2 years, but it's been a real struggle. Now, not because you didn't post the original post that you cannot comment on someone's comment. This is the trick that many people are missing out on. You can also scroll through the comments and comment on someone's comment and build a conversation with that person depending on what it is that they're saying. Now, how do you know to look for that? What can guide you in this is, of course, knowing that you've created an ideal client profile. You have an understanding of the language your ideal client uses. So based on how they've expressed that problem in that comment, you will know, okay, if this is a client that I want to work with. So say, for instance, I'll give another example. I was in a group, and this guy, I think he was from Japan, and he was looking for a coach. And he was like, oh, what did he say? Make me remember. No, none of this, please. None of this, please. I want this. I want that. He just had a list of so many demands. And right away for me, you must never ever be in the energy of desperation to get clients, because they're going to go from you. So of course, many people were prospecting, and many people were putting, of course, they want to get the client. But you have to assess, do you want to work with a client who you know is not your typical client, not your ideal client? So of course, I didn't comment on that post because I know right away he isn't my ideal client. The language he was using, the way he was talking about what he was looking for, I know that this is someone I do not want to work with, because that might be someone who thinks that he can coach me when he needs the coach, when he's the client and he needs the coach. So you need to understand who the ideal client that you want to work with. Who is your ideal client? How they talk about their problems. So in filtering the posts and in filtering those groups and going through those groups to start those conversations every day, try to start at least 5 conversations. I'm telling you, your calendar will be booked. My calendar is booked. It will be booked when you follow this process. So every day when you start that conversation, right, then you take them now into the messenger service, whether it's LinkedIn messages, whether it's Facebook messages, you take them to that point and you begin that conversation. And after a 3 to 4 back and forth, you can propose to hop onto a call so you can discuss working together or whatever the case may be. In a nutshell, this is how you get targeted leads, and the process works when you do this. And also, if you're on LinkedIn, let's go a bit further. If you're on LinkedIn, then what you must do when you're on LinkedIn is the process is that you add daily, you add at least 10 connections to your list daily. You add those 10 connections to your list daily. And also, you continue to filter the comments in the very same way. So you go to LinkedIn, you go to the search bar, you type in your keyword as it pertains to your ideal client's pain point, and then you filter by posts. And you go through those posts and you go through the comments on the posts and you start those conversations. Now, I've given you some information here today that is guaranteed. If you take it seriously, run with it seriously, be diligent and do it, you're definitely going to get messages like these. I'm reaching out because I like to learn more. Excuse me. I'm trying to get started with coaching, and she wants to learn more. How amazing it is that I found you. I'm just in the process of developing myself as a coach. I'd love to hear how you can help me. Let's see if we can commence the first week sessions with you. You're going to get messages like these. And these are people who land on my profile on LinkedIn and reached out to me. I did not reach out to them. They reached out to me. Hi, Melissa, could you please message me? I'm interested in having a conversation with you regarding your services. Right? So what I'm sharing with you today, if you run with it as a coach and you've been struggling to get leads, it's a simple process. And I know it sounds very simple, but it's a simple and straightforward process that you need to be consistent in. You add connections daily. You daily add your 10 connections because you need to be you're growing your list of connections, right? And daily showing up. So you're sharing your posts, you're daily showing up, and you're daily building those conversations and adding value. And once you've gotten them from that crowd and you've gotten them into your private messenger space, as you continue that conversation, then you can hop on a call and take it from there. That's the process in a nutshell. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer your questions. It's time that you evaluate what have you been doing, why is it working, what is working and what isn't working for you. What do you have to do differently? Maybe you've been using the same process, but you haven't been consistent. It's time to get consistent. Maybe you've been using the same process, but your energy, because remember, everything we do, there's energy behind it. Perhaps you've been wanting to grow your business, but your expectation is not aligning with what you want and desire. So has your expectation been aligning with your want and desire? Because when your expectation is aligned, you're going to expect the success. You're going to expect that good to come to you. You're going to expect your calendar to be full. You're going to expect the calls to be booked. Regardless of what you're seeing, your expectation has to line up with your desire. So maybe for you, you've been doing this process and it's your energy shift that you need. You need to make that energy shift. And if that's the case, then go ahead and do so. Right, so that's it for today. I want to thank you so much for following this 4-week Profitable Coaching Business Clinic. And if you're ready to grow, market, and scale your coaching business, take these tips, take these points, and implement these changes, and you're definitely going to experience amazing shifts in your business. Bye for now.